All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in Locker Room Sports Talks. Glad you guys and gals come by and hang out with us. Big Talk Tuesday is what we like to call it today. We're going to talk about Alabama and Georgia, probably a little Auburn and some A&M, and we got some breaking news also. John Mateer out for a couple of weeks at least, reported by University of Oklahoma, and Coach Venables, he has broke his hand, and reports say that he threw the last 10 or 12 passes against Auburn with a broke hand. So that's that. J.C. Latham also just heard a while ago, breaking news for Alabama, that he was taken to UAB for a neck injury. Latham plays line. We'll give you guys an idea who we're talking about here, and I'll pull him up on the screen. And nope, that's not what I wanted. Pull him up right here, share screen. So this is a J.C. Latham, 6'6", junior, 360 pounds, from IMG Academy, offensive lineman. He is a junior. Probably look for him not – I don't know if he'll come back next year. He's played some this year, so now this is just reports. So maybe – I hope it's nothing serious, but if all the allegations are true – and Latham is out with a neck injury, man, bless him, Lord. I hope he's going to be okay. So those are some injuries, and these things just happened, just a little bit ago. And Mateer, of course, today reported broke his hand, played the last whole part of the Auburn game with a broke hand. With that being said, let's bring in the man of the hour, the man that needs no recognition of who he is and where he's from. Limousine riding, airplane flying, wheeling dealing, Northwest Georgia scoreboard show cooking, son of a gun. The Burge.
How's it going?
What's up, sir?
Wow. Nothing much.
A pretty warm day over here in the northeast part of Alabama. How was the Northwest Georgia part?
It was pretty good. A few showers scattered. And what's up, Jeff?
Jeffrey.
It wasn't a bad day. Of course, when you go into work, I went in the dark and come back out, and it was light. So, yeah. But here in about a month and a half or two, you'll go in the dark and come out in the dark, which is kind of.
I hate it, man.
It ain't fun.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Usually on with bread stuff, and what I've been doing here for the past several years, we're up at like 3 or 4. So I'm up, it's dark, but I'm home at, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So,
gotcha.
I can deal with it. I come in and put my fat, hot feet up in my chair, and it's hot today. It's going to be over 90, I think, tomorrow too, but now some rain's coming. So anybody that's got football games for Thursday night, maybe you may need to take an umbrella with you. So there's that. I guess first out of the gate, let's mention the well, let me ask you first. I hadn't talked to you since the big game, Auburn and Oklahoma. What was your thoughts and carryover on that game?
Interesting game. After going back and watching, I heard all kind of hoopla because I didn't get a chance to watch that game. Heard all kind of hoopla about the referees and things like that. Went back and saw the play. Went back and read what was put out from the officials in the offseason. Heard about a 30-minute seminar type thing where they spoke about this very play. And then Oklahoma decides to put that kind of play out on the field, and nobody calls it. I guess I don't know if they didn't think about it or didn't see it or wasn't used to seeing, something like that. But obviously the umpire or the guy upstairs said it should have been a penalty. Obviously, you're not going to change the result of the game. It's unfortunate for Auburn. But Auburn was right there. Games are going to go back and forth. We just seen, Georgia and Tennessee go back and forth. And finish up. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean Auburn's bad or that Auburn's out of it. But
no, that's just it's one loss. It shouldn't cost Auburn's game, and I didn't like the call neither. They can try to bend the rule however they want to, but the guy, I had the rule. Actually, I highlighted it here, and it says, the hiding tactic using a simulated situation or simulated substitution process, or initially leaving too many players on the field to confuse the opponent and hide a player who then participates in the play. So, like if you hide the player and he's not part of the play, then it's not a biggest deal. So it's just it's a corny play. It seems desperate. It kind of speaks to the program to me. If I'm Auburn, I'm thinking, bro, like it's like we get in a fight and we both swap licks, and then I'm like, hang on a minute, let me take my jacket off. And when I turn around and take my jacket off, you punch me in the back of the head. Now, it don't hurt me too bad, but, I turn back around. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I mean, I'm taking my jacket off.
I got you.
Call. It is. It's a crappy call. But back a couple of years ago, Auburn did they hit a player also against Texas A&M. They squatted a guy down behind the guard. He was squatted down on the ground. He hid himself, which says it's against the rule to hide a player that's involved in the play. He squatted down behind the guard, hid. The quarterback snaps it, hands it to him, and then they all run off to the right, the quarterback and tailback, and then the guy hiding scoots across the field and scores. I mean, they hit a guy behind a lineman. So, and there's missed calls. Lord knows how many games have been missed for bad calls from pass interferences to – I remember when Bo Nix turned around and clocked the ball and turned around backwards, and it was actually a fumble, and should have been Bama's ball. But when Saban talked about it, called the ref out on it, and the refs run off the field. So the calls go your way, and sometimes they don't. And it didn't go their way, and that call is not why they lost the game, because their corners can't cover, because Oklahoma run for more yards after catch than I've ever seen in a game probably so far this year. And Arnold is just not – he's exactly what I told everybody he was. He's not changed any. That's why he got benched. He holds the ball too long, anticipating not to throw a pick. But last year, at least he would try to scamper and run a little bit. Now, Freeze has gotten his headset so bad with this headset, he's scared to death to even throw the ball or run it. He don't even know what to do. And their offensive line play was bad. Special teams, you got Simmons taking a punt back in the end zone and taking it out and getting clobbered at the one. Your punter falls on the ground with the ball after it snapped on the ground. And Arnold also missed, after my film study, he missed 11 guys that were open. Like on the big first scramble he had for a first down, a lot of missed opportunities and flags. Holy crap, man. I mean, their offensive line moved around as much or more than Alabama does. And Bama's one of the most penalized teams for offsides there is. I mean, it's like second 10, they get a flag, then it's second 20. What play do you run for second 20? So he tries to run a screen. They get 5 back. So now it's 3rd and 15. So penalties, not taking advantage of situations for receivers. Cam Coleman should have had 10 balls thrown to him, at least 10 thrown to him. But those calls didn't lose them the game. That ability for them, their line not to block, and they couldn't run the ball. I mean, all they have is Jackson to scamper, and Cobb had a big run. That was about it. So what are they going to see this weekend now? What do you think about Auburn and A&M?
I mean, I feel like A&M's got a little better. The quarterback over there is, he can throw the ball a little more. Of course, he can still hurt you with his feet. And, they got a running game with some talented backs. So, and they're going to get after you defensively. They're going to have speed and agility. So, I mean, I think probably more of the same. I think it's probably going to be a close game, but it all falls on, can they block it up front? And does he – I mean, sometimes you got to let it fly, man. You can't be scared to – I mean, if you throw a pick, you throw a pick. But, you know, trust what you see and let it fly.
It's just not his style. And Freeze don't really play football that way. Last year he had a guy that they could throw the ball good, but he made bad decisions. This year he's got a guy that is scared to make a decision because he's not a passer. He's a runner by nature. But, you know, that's the gamble you're taking. As the head coach, you have to fall on the sword, and that's what he's going to have to do. His staff, just no development of players. So special teams is as bad this year as it was last year or the year before. Just no improvement. But A&M is favored by 6.5. It being there, I could see them, you know, being favored by that. Their defensive end, Howell, he's got 3 sacks just like Crawford does. You know, Crawford's the one leading the team. It's not Falk. They thought we all thought Falk was going to be a big first-round splash, and I think he's got 1 or 2 sacks on the year. That's kind of surprising. Now, their linebacker at Auburn, Atkins kid, he's got 19 or 20 tackles, and then York across the way at A&M also has 17, 18 tackles. But you're right now. The running-wise, I like Moss. Their running back is good. You know, he's only got close to 200 yards, but they share the ball, and Reed is more of a runner. I mean, he's thrown the ball, bro, 99 times for 870 yards, where Arnold's thrown it 101 times for 720. You know, Arnold's got 5 touchdowns. Reed's got nearly 10. I mean, I would like to pick Auburn in this game, but I mean, they've just not. They're not showing me, you know, like I could trust them to pick them, you know.
Especially on the road.
Yeah, I think they have probably a lot of the guys that kind of can match up, you know, to them. And in a lot of places, they're probably not as – the depth is probably not there. A&M's had recruited – they've had the number 1 class. I know a lot of those guys left, but there's still some guys left over, some, I guess, and it's about – it is.
I like what I saw out of A&M at the end of that Notre Dame game. They went down and got it done. I like what I saw there, the fortitude to win that game. And, yeah, I'd take A&M, especially at home.
Yeah, at home, it's the home team. So we both kind of feel like A&M probably gets the job done. Probably a lower scoring game. I would probably both in the –
It could be a muddy style game in the beginning. You know, a bunch of punts, maybe a turnover or so. Then you know how games do; they flip when you get some scoring going, and then it starts kicking up. I could see them both being in the 20s, or you know, possibly less. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, I could go along with like 28-20 or something like that. Does Mississippi State, Bird, do they have a shot to – I mean, they are at home. Do they have a chance to beat Tennessee at home? I mean, is Shapen, ain't that his name?
Yeah.
Shapen. So you have any chance? I mean, Tennessee's only favored by 7.5.
You know, I watched a good bit of Mississippi State on multiple games.
I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, somehow or another, it seems like they're on and nothing else good is on or something, you know. And I'm sitting there finding myself watching Blake Shapen and Mississippi State. And, you know, they got a couple good receivers. Running game's not been bad. Defense played good in that game I watched. I think I don't think that they can score with Tennessee because I think Tennessee, the style of offense they play, and they put you in a predicament where – you know, you're going to have to lead players out there because, I mean, you saw against Georgia. I mean, if you try to substitute and they don't substitute, you're getting hosed with a 5-yard penalty because it's just that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And you should know that. You should know that's what they're going to do. And you got to be in the best shape. And you know, Kirby in his post-game interview or maybe even the next week, he said he felt like that his guys are in great shape. And that was – you know, one of the key factors in being able to come back from being down against Tennessee is you got to be able to stay around, you know.
Yes.
But I don't think – I think what is the spread in that game?
6.5, so 7.5. Yeah. 62 is the, I guess, over-unders. They're running about 62, so I guess they think they're both going to, score probably 6 touchdowns apiece.
Well, I feel like that everybody is looking at Tennessee and Georgia's defense because of that game and saying that, they're not good. But I still feel like Tennessee's defense is not awful.
I think they're good. I watched them. Rewatched that game. I mean, Georgia won because Tennessee missed a field goal.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good game. I mean, Stockton hit a big play when he had to there at the end, but I mean, Tennessee they jumped out on front there and they were ahead. I mean, a lot of the game, Georgia was playing catch up. Now they caught up with, what Georgia was down. Well, they down 8 with like 6 minutes left in the game. I mean, yeah. I was like, well, here we go. And then now rewatching it, of course, what's going to happen because you already know, but I watched it closely today, watching the lineman block and seeing how Georgia's linebackers, if they stunt and how they twist and how the corners play up. I'm watching, closely. And it's kind of like Auburn. I guess they couldn't hang their head too terrible. I mean, they did get beat by a quarterback with a broke hand, but that one bad call, that got missed. Same thing. Like it could have been worse. I mean, Auburn could have got blowed out by 30. Like Tennessee, I can't leave as a Tennessee fan, and I don't like Tennessee. I'd probably cheer for Auburn before I would Tennessee. I think Aguilar is good.
I think Tennessee's going to cover this one, is what I was leaning to. I think Tennessee – I don't think Mississippi State's a bad team. I just think they're not at the level of Tennessee. I think the defense will be good enough to hold Stiefel and them down, and Aguilar and them is just going – like the new age word, they're just going to cook, man. Yeah, let them eat.
Let them eat. Put up that stir fry. Another evening game, LSU Ole Miss. Number 4 versus number 13. Ole Miss is favored by 1.5 being at home. LSU's defense has been good. I mean, last week, dude getting thrown out of the game. Old Kiffin's daughter's dating the guy, the Weeks guy. So I'm curious to see how Lane dials up this second team quarterback, this Sharman kid or Champagne, whatever his name is. He's good, man. I'm curious to see how Ole Miss offense reacts to LSU defense.
Yeah. And, if they make it into a track meet, if they're able to move the ball and score some points, I'm curious to see, can LSU's offense respond because, they haven't exactly been world beaters.
Yeah.
That's why they've been getting on I loved his little rant that he put out when they asked him, and the first question was, what's wrong with the offense? And they won 20-10 the other week. That was great. Oh, boy.
No,
hey, but that reporter didn't back down. He shot another one. Why can't you run the ball? He shot it right back at it.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, fair.
He's thrown for a lot of yards. I mean, 6 touchdowns, 2 picks, but defensively, the Weeks kid, he's got a bunch of tackles, and they're at that end. They got that Shanklin kid is good, but that linebacker Yates, bro, at Ole Miss, I mean, we talk about their offense a lot. Of course, they're going to talk about Lacey running the ball for them, does a good job. But that Chambliss kid, man, I think I'm liking this Chambliss, and I'm liking Aguilar because I expected so little. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
My expectations were kind of like way down here, and like, well, he's a second team guy. I mean, the other dude come in last year, Simmons, he's come in and played. He's great, and then he goes out hurt, hurt his ankle. He may have lost his job. And then Aguilar, you're thinking, he come from UCLA. There's no way. I mean, he's playing at UCLA. If he was better, why is he not out here somewhere? He shows up at Tennessee, bro. Hats off to Coach Heupel. That birds just kind of show that he's draw him up with the best, don't it?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, when when everybody heard that, they were trading quarterbacks, they were kind of laughing. I mean,
yeah,
they were kind of laughing at it, and putting Tennessee to the side, dropping them down, and what they were thinking of them, and I think they were wrong to do that.
I like these QBs, so I kind of got a feeling. I mean, right now they're number one in that. Well, I mean, there's not, but how they're ranking it. Right now, Ole Miss and LSU are 1 and 2 for the SEC. Really, right now, I mean, they're both 4-0. He's 2-0 in conference. LSU's 1-0 in the conference, and with them being 4-0 overall, of course, they get the bump. So I think this will be a good game. Now it shows Ole Miss to be favored. ESPN likes them, bro, by like 70%.
I don't know where some of those numbers come from.
Yeah.
Are they using PI to make that number?
Yeah, it's just ESPN, and they're owned by Disney, so who knows what's going on over there. They may need to paint their fingernails, or the guys, I mean, get their lip gloss right, or, Indiana, Iowa, just worth mentioning also at 2:30. Nobody's going to watch. I don't care nothing about Indiana. They don't play anybody. They don't even play a ranked team this year till they play maybe like Ohio State later in the year. Just worth mentioning, I guess. Probably nothing really to look forward to. They play Oregon in 2 weeks, and then they play Penn State later on in the year, and that's about it. So I'd probably look for them to be able to beat Iowa. They should. I'm hoping Iowa blows them out. So there's one other one here. What was the other? Ohio State, Washington. I don't think it's a chance. Oregon, Penn State. I've heard a lot of people talk about that. So a lot of people are leaning Oregon because they're known for being this high-flying team, and a lot of people think Penn State they're favored by 3.5. Penn State is. Coach Franklin again, man. He's that girl that takes you to the door. You think you're gonna get a good night kiss, and you lean in, and and then she just kind of turns, "Oh, good night." She just walks in the house. You just can't seem to finish, and the game is about 50-50 by ESPN. Moore's throwed for 1,000 yards nearly. They ain't played nobody, but Drew Aller's still there. I know this is his 8th year playing at Penn State. He's actually got a son that's
veteran,
probably starting high school football soon. We always say this until they can prove, they can, that I'm gonna probably I'd probably ride with Oregon.
I take a little criticism for this, but I think Penn State, the sheer, it's going to be home field, it's going to be a wide out, it's going to be, it's a veteran team. I'm not real confident in the head coach neither, but I think for some reason something's telling me they're going to get it done this time.
If they win, I'm not going to be shocked.
Yeah,
I'm just wanting to see if he can freeze. What's up, Detroit? Good to see you, brother. Hope y'all are doing good in there. Powerhouse Sports live in the house. Check them out over there on Facebook. They cover South Alabama high school football.
Okay.
Kurt Tucker always coming by and checking in on us. His brother Todd Dean's not on with me tonight, brother. That's all right, though. He still come by and see me. So like Auburn, until boom, until they can just figure out a way to win. Like sometimes you got to let your nuts, put them on the table, and just. Auburn had the ball at the end of the game, just go win the game. No excuses. Penn State, you had a chance last year, and the quarterback went brain dead there toward the end of the game and decided to throw late across his body in the middle of the field. And they just didn't get it done. So, but if Penn State wins, I'm not going to be shocked. I really wouldn't, because those are the 3 teams that's carrying Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon. I think they're kind of carrying that league. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. So before we go to Bama, Georgia, let me ask you this. I've been thinking about this today. Kind of Saturday, because I got to see a little bit more football this Saturday than I did the week before. How's the SEC, Birds? What are you thinking? Do we look okay? I think we look pretty good. Or am I being a homer a little bit? I thought Mississippi State was going to be trash. I know Kentucky's not going to be real good. I thought Auburn would be a little bit better. I mean, I had a lot of confidence in them going out there to Oklahoma, and Is SEC pretty good this year?
I think it's better than what the naysayers had it poked out to be before the season started. I think that, man, the seasons are. I mean, every team is going to have a different style season. You can't win every game.
Yeah.
You're not going to play well in every game.
Right.
If you don't bring your A game, you're playing a good team. You can take a L, and it can look bad sometimes. But one game doesn't make the season, and that's kind of what the playoffs is about. So that one game doesn't throw somebody out of an opportunity, because those teams can get better as the year goes on, or they could be a better team. I mean, how many times have you seen a game and a team won, and you legitimately can say right after the game's over, I still think the losing team is the better team, just not right now.
Your esteemed head coach Kirby kind of alluded that he kind of felt like.
Yeah, he said Tennessee won that game. Should have won that game.
Yeah, they were ahead most of the game. Now, I said, Dart did. Sorry, he's at the Giants. I was thinking about the end of the day. I thought they're going to let him play. I think he'll do pretty good. I just assume that I think the conference is okay. Are we as good as we've maybe always been? No, because I just kind of think football in general is just different. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it just is. Just football in general is different. So I think we're okay. Ole Miss is still a little early, man. This week we're getting into some real conference games now. So we're kind of getting that circle. We're going to come back around in full circle and see Ole Miss defense, how they going to look against us this weekend. Okay. How was Jackson Arnold going to be on the road? We got to see that. And now, our next topic, how's Ty's just smoking the stat screen. I mean, he's just smoking it out. Best numbers we ever, but it's against, a high school team pretty much. And Wisconsin's, they're a low-level college team. And two, we're hearing, that, they got beat bad this weekend, and the Alabama fans were worried. Well, when I went and looked at the stats Saturday night, we played their second-team quarterback. He went out after he threw about 11 balls. The third-team quarterback has played in that game for Wisconsin, so that's why you're seeing such a bad outcome. So I think SEC will be okay, and I think we're okay. Yeah. I think we have a goodest chance. Do you think we have a goodest chance this year to win it because it's been, almost 900 days, man. I mean, I'm counting the days. Like, we got to get this title back in the conference.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, looking at, the last couple of years versus this year, I mean, you got a team, you can throw a team like Oklahoma's name in the hat. LSU's there. Georgia, Alabama, even Tennessee with that offense. I think more teams have a shot to get in the playoffs and make some noise than what we've had in the past.
Is there one team on the outskirts that's hanging around for an SEC team that we're not thinking about that, they may make it in?
I'm not saying that they're going to make it in, but I think this Missouri team is not bad. I don't think they played too much yet as far as an opponent, but they've got it coming, so we'll see how they do then. But both Tabula has been pretty good. They've playing good defense, moving the ball well, scored a lot of points. They kind of reloaded that offense over there, and it's pretty good. I agree, Jeff. And A&M's a dark horse with Marcel Reed over there.
We'll see how Ole Miss does. That'll be we got some play-in games this weekend. I think A&M Auburn, that's kind of a playoff. Like, hey, you want to try to make it this year? Alabama, Georgia, one of y'all want to make playoffs, you probably need to win this one. Alabama is a must win because they keep dropping Bama. They didn't play Saturday, and we dropped 4 spots. So if Bama loses, they're probably going to be ranked about 25 or 24. And it'll be – I mean, they play 4 more ranked teams probably. Their losses will be to 2 top 10 teams. But that Nick Saban – well, that's Nick. I mean, he'll show up with a football team. They may have lost 7 games this year. By God, Saban will show up winning a bowl game. That you're not getting that nod anymore. We could see after what they did last year, and they kept pumping this Indiana crap, kept pumping Indiana, even the Arizona State stuff. So that's kind of over. You better not. Bama can't lose 2, and I don't see them putting in a 2-loss Alabama team. I'm just telling you. Not unless the wheels fall off the bus for everybody else, and like a lot of other teams have 2 losses. That's the only way. Let me put this up here. We had to mention this. The new conference, 3 locked-in games. I wanted to talk about that today because I was going to come on and do just a special 30-minute show on this, but I didn't. Are you okay with – where y'all are? You got Auburn, Florida, and South Carolina. Is that good? I mean, you like that? Those 3, they're locked in for 4 years. So,
yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's the mainstays. And I mean, keep in mind, I mean, you're gonna play everybody within a 4-year span at home anyway. So I mean, it's not that big a deal to me. Yeah. Now, you look at say maybe Arkansas's.
They got robbed. They got
and
Arkansas, man.
I would say that's probably the worst one, Arkansas. A&M is not, amazing either. It's actually the exact same thing.
Look at Tennessee over there. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I think they got a bone thrown to them there.
Yeah, for sure. That Tennessee got cake, and now, Vandy, we don't know. Their 3 is going to be Auburn, Tennessee, Mississippi State, but Coach Levy at Mississippi State, not bad. They may be able to turn this thing around. They do have a fantastic fullback that played right over here at Aniana, Fluff Bothell. He's good. And Mississippi State's got Ole Miss, Vandy, and Alabama. And Florida's got Georgia. I'm glad they got to keep that. And they got South Carolina and Kentucky. So right now it seems like Kentucky has took the place of the whipping boy where Vanderbilt was.
Yeah.
Alabama, of course, Bama gets to keep Auburn and Tennessee, and they added Mississippi State. So, and they'll swap it around. And a lot of people was thinking, well, man, they should have put LSU for Alabama, and Auburn should have got Florida, and instead of Georgia. Well, they're not going to take away the South's oldest rival. Some Auburn media people I heard today say they were willing to swap Bama for Florida. And I guess they are. They tired of getting, beat them. It's been 5-6 years in a row. They can't beat them. So, I mean, it's just true. I mean, I'm not, Texas, hey, I like that. A&M, Arkansas, and Oklahoma, you got the Red River Shootout, and then you got those 2 old teams, Spurs, that they were back in the old, what did they call that? The Midwest Conference back in the day or something,
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's okay. I think they're pretty good. And still, people were saying, Bama, LSU, that would have been, but that don't mean Alabama's not going to play LSU. Or Georgia and Bama's, they got to where they try to keep them apart, usually because it makes good TV if you keep them apart and let them play for the SEC title because it makes a big splash because you sell a lot of tickets to go to the SEC title game. And there's not East and the West anymore, so none of that even really matters. So I imagine Bama and Georgia's – and they ain't played in regular season. It's been a while. I mean, like they used to play kind of regular, 10, 15 years ago, and it's kind of went away. So, like you said, it's not a big deal. It's not.
I'm sure this will come up again, but I think it's been 10 years since Alabama has been to Athens.
Yeah. So that's kind of that. Again, thank y'all guys for coming by and hanging out. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Go over and find Birds Northwest Georgia Scoreboard Show, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You can find him wherever you want to find him at. They cover all the high school stuff over there. I drag him over here, make him do college stuff with me at least twice a month or so. Just keep him honest, make sure everything's cool. So, with all that being said, it's Bama, Georgia time. 41-34 was the score last year. Milroe was he was the difference maker in the game. He was. His legs helped extend drives, and he would get out there on the edge and get the running, and he's like a small version of Derrick Henry trying to tackle Milroe out there. It just is. 2003 was the last home win over Alabama out there. Georgia's 33-0 at home. So one of these records is going to give. Now, Joey the Fish out in Vegas, 67% of those guys are taking Georgia. So that kind of tells you where Vegas is right now. I've got some keys to success for both teams. I'll let you go tear off into it first. Tell me what you think Georgia's – if Georgia wins the game, then we'll look back at the stats or whatever we'll go. Well, that's why they won. It's that.
I think it comes down to the line of scrimmage, and I think it's because if Georgia wins the game, it's because they're able to have decent play. I mean, it doesn't have to be, amazing, but you got to have decent play from your right guard and your right tackle, which we know has been kind of a revolving door between a couple different guys because of the injuries and whatnot.
Bama's ain't much better. I promise they're not.
Kirby announced not too long ago, in his practice press conference that, they're aiming to get both of those guys back. But, I mean, they were back for the Tennessee game 2 weeks ago. They played a couple series and then, swap-a-rooney. So
I want to ask you that. Where's Green and Gaston? Or, I've heard Green probably not playing, Gaston maybe.
From what he said, from what I read from, what was written from the interview is that they're both aiming to return. But I don't know what percentage or whatever, they may play a drive and then not play a drive. He tends to do that with linemen. If they get him on tape and, and that while they were in there against Tennessee early, they struggled a little bit. He's going to take them out. I mean, he's going to say, hey, this next guy's got to come in here. You're healthy. We need you to go do this. So, we'll see what happens there. But getting back to what you asked me, I think if Georgia wins the game, it's because they're able to run the ball, play action off of it, and, get vertical a couple times. They don't necessarily want, or I don't know if they'll necessarily have to get vertical a whole lot, but I think you need to see Stockton with some yards on the ground just to make sure that, the linebackers are not just coming after us. Him being able to get out the backside is big. There'll be replays and, those type plays for him. And you got to keep it ahead of the chains, man. You can't be sitting in 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 8 against Alabama. You can't constantly be in, 3rd and forever situations. They're just going to pin their ears back and come after you. I noticed that on 3rd down, Bama hasn't blitzed a lot. I would tend to think if early they're not successful that they might try to blitz a little bit, but I don't know if Georgia might not invite that. How they throw the little quick screens and that type junk. And I really like the way Georgia's receivers have been blocking. Now, you're going to be blocking better players, obviously. Alabama's secondary and linebacker is going to be bigger, better, faster. But, a couple of those guys at Georgia, I'd take them against any of the DBs. I mean, I think 8 is 6'4", 200 plus. I think he's got a good shot at getting a block. But, and the tight ends really hadn't done much as far as catching passes. Here and there, they've caught a couple. But on the line of scrimmage, man, the tight ends, they help out a whole lot as far as blocking. I mean, they're really good at pulling and getting the outside guys blocked up, or at least getting in the way so you can get the plays. And from what I watched, not just critiquing Alabama, but from what I watched, seemed like Alabama could be out of the gaps, or maybe 2 people in the same gap, or overrunning the gap. So Georgia's going to run plays to try to get that false step from the linebacker, and then wall them off, and then try to hit it up in there with Frazier. And I think if Georgia's able to run the ball, that was a big key to the Tennessee game. Georgia ran the ball for I think 198 or something like that. Stockton had some of that and a touchdown or so. I think they need something similar, and you got to play the one-on-one ball better, because if you can't, Alabama's receivers are just going to burn you. So
they got a good receiving core.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like the majority of the deep passes that Tennessee hit on, maybe the DB was there but couldn't make a play, fell down. Got the guy went up over the top of him. I guarantee you these last 2 weeks, there's been a lot of deep balls thrown and a lot of deep balls defended, because that killed them. That killed them big time. I mean, that kept letting Tennessee, score on these 50, 60-yard plays. It's like, come on, you got to make them drive the field, because, I mean, any of these teams, as good as their defenses are, it's tough just to drive the field and get points. Tennessee turned the ball over that time. We started in their territory, and we ended up with 3. So, and that's one of the things that Kirby says, hey, we got to score touchdowns instead of field goals. Now, field goals are important because, if they didn't have the field goals, they wouldn't be down 8 there late in that Tennessee game. But got to score touchdowns, or at least get some points, which Georgia's been good at. I think they're 100%, in the red zone at getting points. I think it's in the 70s in touchdowns, maybe less. But yeah, to your original point, I think it's all about the ground game and, being physical. I think Gunner and the receivers and all those guys are going to take care of themselves. I think it comes down to how the line of scrimmage plays, and can you keep Gunner upright? And if you do blitz, can he make the right throw and get out of there in time? He's been pretty good at avoiding the sack and getting out of there. So we'll see if he can continue.
It's kind of a tale of 2 cities. I mean, Bama coming in at pass offense 336, Georgia 261, but Georgia pass defense, they give up average 217. Bama gives up average 108. Rushing 209 for Georgia, Bama at a measly 125. But Bama's, rush defense, they give up about average about 130 or so. Georgia's rush defense only giving up about 80. And Stockton's throw 4 touchdowns, no picks. Ty's throw 9 touchdowns and no picks. So it seems like if you put them together and played an all-star game, look out. One team throws it, other team can run it. Now, defensively, when you go to compare, I think Bama's D-backs are better. Saab and Hubbard are good. And I like Brown, the one that picked the ball off last year at the end of the game. This is and they've played. But, C.J. Allen, KJ's good. I think, if you're going to do D-backs and you put them opposite, when you go do a checklist, I like that. And what we talked about before coming on up front wise, you can always count on, Georgia's going to be good up front. They're going to get a push. Their defensive line is going to get a push on you. You can always count on a Kirby Smart team playing hard all game and not taking time. I mean, they could have laid down last year at halftime, but they didn't. They come back out and, almost won a game. So you can always count on, their defense coming out there and getting a push and making sure to, try to make Bama punt, put them in, bad situations and get them in third and more than 5. Now, Keenan coming back from tightrope, I don't know. I don't know. Lawson is a little skinny in the britches sometimes. Him and Jefferson, like you said, they both like to jump the same lane sometimes. Their eye discipline gets off. It's been better. They looked better against Wisconsin on, like tall pitch plays and bubble screens and that kind of stuff. And Hubbard's he was a big part of that, last week, coming downhill and hit. So keys for me for Georgia would be they've got to keep running the ball. Don't give up on it early. If it don't pan out, don't feel like you just got to run Stockton and just try to make big explosive plays at the field, because we both know college football has changed so much, and it seems like now it's just who can make the most explosive plays without screwing it up, throwing a pick, and that's about it. Georgia's defensive backs have got to stay alert. I watched in a lot of the game against Tennessee. They were talking to each other sometimes, or they were running for – Tennessee was running for yards after the catch. That's concerning to see where they're – I don't know if they're not talking enough. And somebody goes maybe number 6. I didn't like how he was reading plays. He would get on the wrong side of the hip. He was letting guys get – Tennessee was smoking that slant, and he would get on the wrong side of it. It's like he was getting the wrong hip or something. And it don't take but one play. I mean, it's, 3rd and 8. You get a first down, you're keeping the sticks moving. So that's another thing. And lastly, for Georgia keys is field goals win games. Don't feel like just because you kick the field goal that it's a loss. If you come down there and you don't get 6, 3's better than none. And I think that the game's probably going to be decided probably by one of the kickers or somebody giving the ball away towards the end of the game. Now, Alabama's keys, if you was a Bama fan, what would you want to say that if Bama wins, then their stat box would be more positive in what area? Where would you see, oh, well, okay, well, that's why Bama won. Jesus Christ, man, look right here. What would you think that would be?
Honestly, I'm going to say something similar. I'm going to say if Bama rushes for that 150 to 200 mark, if they're able to do something like that, I think for sure they're probably going to win, because I think Alabama's going to be able to move the ball through the air. And that's going to happen. It's the fact, can they do the rest of it? And also, if you can see that Georgia's rushing attack has been held down under their average, that'll be big for Alabama as well. I really do think it's going to come down to line of scrimmage. I think both teams can throw the ball. I think Alabama has an advantage just because they've done it more. I felt like Georgia's only game that they really went out and had to throw it was Tennessee. The other games they really haven't let him throw it really far down the field at all. There were so many people upset because he's throwing sideways passes. I just try to tell him, like, that's what he's being asked to do. That's the play call. Be mad at Kirby and Bobo, which they are anyway. But
I'm not a Bobo fan. Fans, if people watching, if you've been watching this for a while, you already know. I worked in Georgia a long time back in the late 90s, and most old Georgia fans don't like him. Georgia's going to have to hit some plays down the field to keep them honest, to keep Hubbard playing up the field, because the more he creeps down, Hubbard's been – last year he come on the scene as a big surprise. I don't see him shying away in this game at all. These are They know, man. They took Florida State lightly, and they come in there with their head up their butt walking around. That's why they lost the game. Offense didn't play terrible. The defense just drug around. They wasn't coming downhill. They was getting spread on the edges, and they wouldn't run into the ball. So, for me, keys to Alabama win the game, they're going to need to win in the turnover column. They're going to have to get it. They're going to have to pick Stockton off or create a fumble. 2, the defense has got to play fast. It's just the way it's going to be all night. And if Georgia's not going to sub any on offense to give Bama time to sub for defense, then just get ready to, get out there. Who's in shape, who's been running, and who's been, eating right, and who's, hydrated for the game. Those things will be important. And the number one thing, really, for Alabama fan, what we're used to seeing, and anybody that's watched college football, you've always known that Alabama competes the whole game. And we did not see that against Florida State. We've got to see that Saturday. That's the keys to success for Alabama is competing all day, creating turnovers, and the defense is going to have to – they're going to have to run around and play fast. They're going to have to stick Georgia. When they make those screens out there to Young and he catches a little bubble up the field and they're running 2-by-2s, one set stack, or they're stacking each other, Brown or Hubbard or somebody's got to play over, or if he tries to run back inside, Jefferson's got to stick those guys. You got to stick your helmet in their chest. You're going to have to play hard because we already know that Kirby's guys we know how they play. I mean, as long as I've been a Bama fan and he was at Alabama, we know how he coaches his guys up, and that's how they're going to play. I guess lastly, we'll get out of here. ESPN's got Georgia 29, Bama 23, or another score. ESPN had Georgia 31, Bama 27. That seems to be kind of a theme. Are you in that area somewhere also?
Yeah, I think I had 34 to 27 or something like that in that range. I think if it gets way out of control with the score, it probably leans towards Alabama's favor.
So if Bama gets to 40, you're thinking they'll probably win.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I said the same thing about Tennessee, but
yeah. Well, I mean, it was it was a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could go along with that. Of course, I'm going to pick Bama. I'm a fan. Everybody's a fan of somebody. But realistically, DeBoer's only beat let's see. They beat Wisconsin on the road, and what the other road game? He's only beat like 2 teams on the road.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna mention. You think that Sanford Stadium is going to have anything to do with it because
sure,
10 years since they've been there, they've never been there under Kirby.
Yeah,
Kirby at the helm.
He was there, but he was on the other team.
All I hear is they always have a terrible home schedule. Always have a terrible home schedule, and this year is one of the best home schedules that they've had. It's been a little bit because you went to Tennessee, you're off that week. I think the 7:30 game is going to be. It's going to be wild. It'll be important for Alabama to try to silence the crowd because I think it will make a difference.
Yeah. Now, Latham, Jeff said that they may exploit Latham. I don't know if Latham started on the line. I can't.
It's actually I've seen what you got there. J.C. Latham, I think he plays for the Titans. It's a defensive lineman, Ja Marine Latham.
Let's see.
Sustained a neck injury, transported to UAB. He said, "We're pleased to announce that Ja has feeling and motion. He's currently undergoing thorough medical assessment to determine the next steps in his recovery." That was from head coach DeBoer.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 278, red shirt. Yeah, he played at Pickens County. See, I can't. I don't. Let me pull this up on here. I'm trying to see where. I'm trying to see where. I'm trying to get like the starting, lines, and I just can't remember him starting. Let's see. Remains on the missed ULM Wisconsin matchups. Will recover from injury. Florida State got to start in Tallahassee, but suffered a lower body injury. Made his day short. Rested 2 tackles. Okay, so he hadn't played because he's been hurt, and now he's going to come back this week. Bless his heart. God dang, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
That's just crap. That's nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah, true.
So, because kids battling through injuries and like, okay, I'm back. I'm gonna make it, and then here you are. You get hurt again. That's a big stinker. So lastly, we'll get out of here. Yeah, well, maybe he'll get. I just hope it ain't nothing bad. But you did say he was moving his hands and.
Yeah, that's the statement that comes from DeBoer. Yep.
Here's the. I'm gonna say Bama could win. I'd probably do a 31-28 kind of game. It's just I'm in the same boat as I am like with Penn State. What I said a while ago about Penn State, same thing. Until you can show me you can do it. I mean, I don't know if you can do it or not, Birds. I don't know if DeBoer can get the guys. I don't know. I've thought about it today. I thought, what's the difference in this motivation to, motivate a, group of guys to go on the road? If you have to motivate,
yeah, that's the problem.
This group to go. If you even have to say anything to go play Florida State, or if you have to even mention, there shouldn't even be any words about who we're even playing Saturday. You're supposed to just be getting ready for the next game because it's the next game. If I'd got to fire my team up to go play Georgia, you ain't got a heartbeat. You need to go down. You need to go to Wichita State, or you need to go play football or go play pickleball. You ain't got no blood in your veins. You ain't drinking no. Like one of my old buddies used to say, you ain't drink no tater water, and your heart pumps weak. ASHI,
Yeah,
you're weak. There's no way. No way. So that's kind of my take on it. I would, because Bama's won it so many times, people are just kind of expecting. And I hope the players don't go over there thinking that this year, because they have just not proven yet that this is the game where you go prove yourself. This is supposed to be why you come to Alabama, is to go out and play these kind of games, right? I mean, this is what you're supposed to be going to do. So that's what you're supposed to be, getting after in that department. Now here's the John Moran Latham. He's number 20, and he played at he's from Pickens County. He's a senior this year, big guy. And like I said, he had been hurt. He did play Florida State, but he hadn't played. He switched from D-line to linebacker and during the season, because I think they changed that wolf position or whatever, and whatnot. So, man, maybe he'll be all right.
Yeah.
So anyway, it would kind of be it would be a little surprise if Bama won. Can I say that? I mean, I just ain't seen it. I can't keep saying the same thing over and over and just sound stupid. What's this fat ass? No, he's up there. He just keeps saying, I don't believe it till they do it. And I keep saying the same. I just don't. And until Bama can do it and they can go on the road and win a big game, hey, if they do, they do. But I give you my reasons of why what they're going to have to do, they're going to have to create turnovers. The defense is going to have to play fast, and they're going to have to compete the whole game. Just go out and do those things, and I think everything else will take care of itself.
Yep.
All right, let's get off here, Birds. Tuesday night, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Big Talk Tuesday. That's another one in the books. Birds, always welcome to come back and hang out. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're always welcome to, bro. We'll see you around. All right.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, see you, homie. The Birds, appreciate him for coming by and hanging out. Northwest Georgia Scoreboard Show's finest. Appreciate the chats in the talking room gallery. Jeff, always good to see you on here. Alabama fans, if this is, well, if you're looking for a great game, then this is, it's definitely the game that you're going to want to hang out for. Do you want to be big time SEC football is coming at you Saturday? Y'all come back and hang out here Thursday night. We'll go through a little bit of high school football, and the big show's on Sunday. Come back by and hang out with us. We appreciate you. Peace out.